Hey everyone, it's Bree, and I'm back with a scrapbook process video for the Paige Evans Silhouette Ink design team. I am going to be working with today's cut file of the day. It is day 19 of the 20 Days of Summer Cut Files designed by Paige Evans. I will have a link to purchase the cut file bundle if you haven't already purchased them. Since July 1st, she's released, if you purchase the bundle, she's released one cut file every day, and there is tons of inspiration up on the Happy Scrappy Place Facebook group where you can find and see fellow design team members that have created a project using the cut file that is released for that day. Now for today, it is the waves cut file, and I have cut it out on some textured white cardstock. And what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a few different waves, wave pieces, and I am adding some Versamark ink onto the tip of the wave, and then I'm adding some white embossing powder on there. Now I am just kind of taking the paper and pressing it into the ink pad just to give it a more rough look, and then I'm adding the ink, and then I'm going to heat emboss it. So I'll show you this one right here. It's like magic. As soon as you see the embossing powder melt, it's just very soothing to watch it. So I don't leave all of the waves in here. I do a lot of them off camera, but I just wanted to show y'all how I created a few of them. So here's another one right here with the powder, and then I'm going to hit it with my heat gun and let the embossing ink melt, or the embossing powder melt. Okay, so now that I have my waves, or some of them basically heat embossed on the tips, I'm going to go ahead and start applying some mixed media to each wave piece. I have pulled out my Distress Oxide inks in some blues, so I have Mermaid Lagoon, Salty Ocean, and Tumbled Glass. I am going to pull in a few other blues, but for right now I'm just using these three colors. Now all I do is I just smush the ink pad down on my glass media mat, and I add some water to my paintbrush, and I just paint the color on. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I just add some color and then add a few other deeper colors or lighter colors to create some depth to my waves. Now I do add in, I think that's Faded Jeans on the top. I can't really see. It's really small. It's either Faded Jeans or Stormy Sky. And then I also added in Blueprint Sketch. So yeah, I'm just painting on the color, and you can see on the tips of the waves it stayed white, and then so it basically resisted the rest of the color, and they look really realistic with the embossed powder or the embossing on it, as well as with the different shades of the blue. To me it really looks like an ocean, and I am so pleased with how all of these little pieces turned out. So I am just painting on the ones that I heat embossed first, and then I will move on to the rest of the cut file. So that's all I'm doing is just blending on and painting on the colors, just super simple, and not really paying attention to where these pieces fit in. I'm just gonna paint everyone separately and differently, and then piece it together kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. And I do have to admit that was so much fun putting all the pieces back in, because I didn't like organize them in a specific way when I took off the wave pieces from my cutting mat. I just pulled them off and just started painting them. And so when I put it back together, it was I don't know, I truly enjoy jigsaw puzzles, so it was fun. It was fun for me. So yeah, so I believe I'm done with the ones that I've heat embossed, and I'm going to show you those right there. And I'm going to go ahead and add some more ink to my mat, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on with painting the rest of my waves. So basically the ones that I have not heat embossed. So here is the actual cut file with all of the wave pieces removed, and I went ahead and just adhered it down to another piece of textured white cardstock, and I've already painted the rest of my waves off camera. So it was basically the same exact idea that I showed you just before, but I didn't want to keep that in since it was pretty repetitive and there wasn't really too much that you were missing. So now I'm just going to go ahead piece by piece and start adhering all of the inside pieces to the cut file that I painted. Now so basically the ones that have the white ink on them, or the white embossing, I didn't adhere the tips. I kind of left them open or up so that they could kind of come off the page a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, so it wasn't completely flat. And the rest of the pieces I went ahead and added adhesive to the entire piece. So I'm just gonna pop those in and figure out, like I just had Gilmore Girls running, and I was just popping all of the pieces back in and I really, really love how this turned out. It was so much fun. Like, you can pop all the pieces up on some dimensional foam. You can leave the entire cut file on your cutting mat and maybe just spray or like apply the color on whatever mixed media or paint that you're using. You don't have to, you know, do it separately like this. Obviously, it was a little more tedious, but I love the outcome and I was so happy with how it turned out. So here is all of my wave pieces glued down, as well as the ones with the heat embossing on it. And so you could see like the different shades of blue, and to me it just looks so, I don't know, it just looks fun and it looks so realistic, and so, I don't know, I'm so pleased with how this one turned out. And I love this cut file so much, and I'll have a link to that if I haven't mentioned that in the description box below, as well as a link to Paige's Happy Scrappy Facebook group. So I'm just giving you another up close shot of those, the ones that are heat embossed, and then I'm going to move on to embellishing my page. Now, the photo that I chose for this layout is a photo of my youngest son. Oh, actually, I added white paint splatters. I forgot about that because, as you know, in the past few of my videos, I'm completely obsessed with paint splatters. So I added a little white paint all over my waves, and it kind of just brings everything together, and I like it. But yeah, like I was saying, the photo that I have chosen for this layout is of my little, my youngest son, Elijah. He was running into the ocean. We had just got to the beach when we were still living in Hawaii, and I had chosen this size of the photo because the waves were my entire background, and I thought, you know, with it having a longer photo, it would look really nice. So for my title, I'm using one of the words from the Horizon, like puffy phrase stickers, and then I'm adding these tiny or mini foam thickers from Pick Me Up, and then I'm also kind of taking apart this tag from Horizon and using the blue flowers. So since my waves in my background were all blue, there's a bunch of blue in my photo, I am just embellishing with blue pieces from different collections. I believe it was Horizon, Whimsical, the thickers were from Pick Me Up, and then I think I do use some like glitter enamel dots from the Bloom Street collection. So I don't embellish too much, like barely anything at all. I wanted to keep the embellishing fairly simple and let the cut file and the background be the star of the show along with my photo. But yeah, so I mainly embellish in blue embellishments, I guess. That's so redundant. Embellished with blue embellishments, or embellished with blue pieces, sticking with the monochromatic look, I guess you could say. But yeah, so I had so much fun creating this layout. I hope y'all have gotten some inspiration from our group on how to use these cut files. There's so many different ideas, and if you haven't picked up this bundle, you should definitely check it out. It is a super good deal and lots of cut files to document those summer photos. But yeah, there is my final layout. I am so pleased and so happy with how the mixed media turned out. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!